Thank you for taking time out of your busy schedules to review this webinar on PSSA Accountability. The Division of Assessment and Accountability, DAA, in collaboration with the Office of Data Quality, ODQ, are responsible for PIMS trainings, the attribution map, PIMS attribution rules, and all accountability reporting functions. There is contact information at the end of this presentation, so please feel free to contact us. The agenda for today will first cover the timelines and processes for data submission, followed by the data collection details. We will then discuss the deduplication rules and reports that are produced as a result of the data submitted by the LEA. Who submits data to PIMS? Any entity providing educational services is an educating entity. Educating entities, or LEAs, include school districts, charter schools, IUs, CTCs, PRRIs, APSs, and SJCIs. LEAs are responsible for ensuring that all students in grades 3 through 8 for whom the entity is providing educational services are assessed. Student demographic information is required for all students testing. Timeline. It is important to work with your SIS vendor to make sure they can deliver the data required for the PSSA Accountability internal snapshot. PDE highly recommends that LEAs use the sandbox as a tool in order to test data against the DQE rules. This is intended to save the LEA time when uploading the data to PIMS production. We strongly encourage LEAs to update data in the sandbox ahead of time, but want to be clear that you must successfully load the data into PIMS production in order for the student data to be included when the snapshot is pulled. LEAs who wait until the last day to upload may encounter problems and not be able to meet the deadline. Since there is no extension for internal snapshots, if LEAs are unable to submit data for the upload, the students will not be included in the snapshot. The deadline for submitting data for the PSSA internal snapshot collections are located on the elementary secondary data collection calendar listed on the PIMS website. PIMS will shut down temporarily to take the internal snapshot. Any data updated after the snapshot date will not be available in the testing vendor system. Because this is an internal snapshot, the data is frozen in time and extensions cannot be granted. There are two templates, student and school enrollment, that need to be updated and uploaded in Collection Window 6 to make sure that the data passes the data quality engine rules. In order to submit the correct data, PIMS administrators must upload correct information for students in grades 3 through 8 for this internal snapshot. It's important that PIMS administrators verify that data has been successfully uploaded by running the pre-snapshot verification reports. Final data must be uploaded by noon on the deadline on the elementary and secondary data collection calendar listed on the PIMS website. Please note that data cannot be corrected after the internal snapshot deadline. Let's take a look at the data collection details that affect accountability for PSSA exams. All assessment and accountability internal snapshots will be created using the data that was submitted using Collection Window 6. This is open all year, and data can be uploaded, updated, and deleted depending on your permissions. Updates to student template and school enrollment data can be made at any time when Collection Window 6 is open in PIMS production. Updates to the PIMS data after an internal snapshot is taken will only affect future snapshots. This is an overview of the PIMS process for the internal snapshot. The deadline for the accountability for PSSA exams is noon on the internal snapshot date. All internal snapshot dates are listed in the elementary and secondary data collection calendar located on the PIMS website. In the first of 3 blocks, the graphic begins with PDE sending communications to LEAs reminding them of the internal snapshots. Next, LEAs upload the student and school enrollment templates to PIMS. The LEAs then run the pre-snapshot reports to verify accuracy of the data submitted. Since there is no correction window, this should all occur before the internal snapshot date. After the deadline, PIMS locks down temporarily to take the internal snapshot and generate the data file that will be sent to the testing vendor. Once PIMS reopens, LEAs can then run their snapshot reports and accuracy certification statement. As a reminder, once the snapshot is taken, a file is prepared to be sent to the testing vendor. Since this is an internal snapshot, there is no corrections window. An internal snapshot freezes data at a point in time, and that's why PDE cannot give any extensions. If data is uploaded after the internal snapshot, it will not be included in the file sent to the testing vendor. This is an overview of the details we'll be discussing for the PSSA exams internal snapshot. It begins with the student in the blue circle, which includes the student's 5 matching criteria. It is very important that the 5 matching criteria are correct because this is how students are linked to the test results. This is why there is so much emphasis on getting these fields right. The 5 matching criteria are first name, last name, date of birth, PSQR ID, and grade. Please make sure the student's PSQR ID is unique to the student. Students with 2 IDs or 2 students sharing 1 ID have to be resolved. Contact the PIMS Application Support Desk for help with PSQR IDs. The boxes include data about the student, including the student's demographics and school enrollment information. If there are any special characters other than numbers, dashes, and apostrophes, it will cause a mismatch in the testing vendor system, and the LEA will have to manually match each student. Data from the school enrollment template is used to determine the students who will be included in that internal snapshot. Please pay special attention to the accuracy of the entry patrol dates, codes, and grades. Students must have an E or R enrollment code prior to the internal snapshot date and not be withdrawn prior to the snapshot to be included in the internal snapshot. The demographics for students were embedded in pre-code labels. If the student cannot be matched using the 5 matching criteria, the student record has to be matched manually to their test record by the LEA. Using student demographics can help LEAs identify unmatched students. These student groups will be listed in your reports for verification. We use state, LEA, and school entry data fields to help identify full academic year. The date in these fields cannot be a future date and must be in logical order. For more information on these fields, please see PIMS Manual, Volume 1. The following fields will be utilized during attribution. Please review them for accuracy. Field 117, District Code of Residence, Appendix N of the PIMS Manual, Volume 2, and Field 165, Location Code of Residence, is also used during attribution. Special case. The IU is responsible for the students in the IU classroom housed outside of the IU, even if that classroom is in a district building. The district should only be uploading its own students. Now let's take a look at the deduplication business rules after the internal snapshot. A student's PSQR ID must be reported to the testing vendor by only 1 LEA. When more than 1 LEA reports a student in the internal snapshot, the following rules will be applied to deduplicate the students. If the student is reported at 1 or more occupational CTCs and an LEA of any other type, the record submitted by the other LEA will be used. If their student is reported at one comprehensive CTC in a school district or charter school, the record submitted by the comprehensive CTC will be used. If the student is reported at one IU and one or more other LEA types, the record submitted by the IU will be used. If the student is reported at one charter school and one or more school districts, the record submitted by the charter school will be used. If the student is reported at one approved private school and one or more school districts, career technology centers, or charter schools, the record submitted by the approved private school will be used. If the student is reported at one private residential rehabilitation institution and one or more LEAs, the record submitted by the private residential rehabilitation institution will be used. If the student is reported at multiple school districts, then if field 1 equals field 217, that LEA's record will be used. If both LEAs have field 1 equal to field 217, then the district with the latest LEA entry date will be used. If the student is reported at multiple charter schools, then if field 1 equals field 217, that LEA's record will be used. If both LEAs have field 1 equal to field 217, then the charter school with the latest LEA entry date will be used. This is a graphical way to show how PIMS applies business rules to unduplicate student records. The LEA types that can receive an attribution are CTCs, school districts, and charter schools. LEAs that are listed as IUs, PRRIs, APSs, SJCIs, location codes of Quad 9, location codes of Quad 0, are all reattributed to a charter, CTC, a school district, or a charter school. If PIMS has a duplicate student reported by two LEAs, then the LEA with the most recent entry date in the school enrollment template will be used. In addition to the current business rules, let's discuss how data is used for accountability from the PIMS internal snapshot. This flowchart asks a series of questions that show you what data is essential in the PIMS upload if a student record is to be included in the testing vendor file. We'll begin with the LEA at the top left of the slide and ask the question, did the LEA upload data in PIMS using the student and school enrollment templates? If no, then the student is not included in the accountability file that will be sent to the testing vendor, which means the student will not be included for attributions. If the answer is yes, the LEA uploaded the data to PIMS and then moves on to the next question. The next question, did the data pass the DQE rules? If no, then the LEA will have to upload the data again into PIMS. If yes, then the next question will be, did the school enrollment template include the student? If no, then the student is not in the accountability file that will be sent to the testing vendor, which means the student will not be included for attributions. If yes, then we move to the next question. Are the school, district, and state entry dates within the valid date ranges? If no, the student is not included in the accountability file that will be sent to the testing vendor, which means the student will not be included for attributions. If yes, we move on to the next question. Is the student full academic year? Whether or not the answer is yes or no, the student is included in the accountability file that will be sent to the testing vendor. We move on to the next series of questions which relate to the attribution map and PIMS attribution rules. Is the student enrolled in a CTC, school district, or charter school where the assessed subject is taught? Is the student coded with location code Quad 9? Is the student at an IU, PRRI, APS, or location code of Quad 0? Are there any special circumstances? Based on the attribution map and PDE attribution rules, students are either included or excluded from accountability reporting. Lastly, we would like to discuss the PIMS reports that are produced as a result of the data that you, as the LEA, submit to PIMS. These pre-snapshot reports reflect data loaded into production. They should be run prior to the internal snapshot date. The enrollment pre-snap subgroup comparison report compares all student group data from previous year to current year based on the date selected. Run the Keystone PSSA warnings, duplicate students reported at other LEAs report to identify students reported at multiple LEAs. Keystone PSSA warnings, reporting district and district of residence differ report should be reviewed for accuracy. Pre-SNAP assessment subgroup comparison PSSA displays like an ACS. All pre-snapshot reports should be run and verified prior to the internal snapshot. The following snapshot reports reflect data that was included in the internal snapshot. The enrollment snapshot subgroup comparison report compares all student group data from previous year to current year based on the date selected. The duplicate students reported detail with other LEA report will display students who were reported by multiple LEAs. This report can assist with troubleshooting students who may have been removed by the deduplication process. The LEA will have to run, verify, and submit the PSSA assessment subgroup ACS for accountability. Please be sure to select the correct internal snapshot dates when running this ACS. Please refer to the elementary secondary data collection calendar for prior year and current year dates to utilize when running any pre-snap or snapshot reports. There are a few resources we would like to point out to you. On PAR's webpage of the PDE website, you can find information on Chapter 4, Academic Standards, PA's ESEA Flexibility Waiver, the Attribution Map, and trainings. There's a link to the Future Ready PA Index website, which contains LEA data that PDE uses to report state accountability. Lastly, the PIMS webpage is listed. The PIMS calendar, assessment how-to guide, assessment training presentations, and the PIMS manuals can be downloaded from this website. A list of contacts are provided if you have questions or need clarification. The Division of Assessment and Accountability can be reached at ra-pas@pa.gov. Please call 800-661-2423 to get assistance from the PIMS Application Support Desk. Lastly, the Office of Data Quality can be emailed at ra-gdq-data-collection@pa.gov. Thank you for reviewing this webinar for the PSSA Exams Accountability.